My talk today is titled The Beloved Community, Infinity and Beyond. Infinity and Beyond, because I could. So the core idea here is that we are here to personalize the infinite. And it's not a private luxury. Being yourself is not indulgent. It is actually part of that greater tapestry, that greater puzzle of life. It's a contribution. When one person says yes to their dream, when you and I say yes to our dream, and we start to say, yes, I'm going to live out loud, and we live our wholeness unapologetically, the whole field lifts. Nobody heals by staying small. Nobody heals by staying small on our behalf, and you don't heal anybody by staying small on their behalf. So I was thinking about this. We're in August. It's the 8th month, and the number 8, when it rests on its side, as by the way we all should during these very hot summer months, it's a symbol for infinity. So you are actually contributing and expressing infinity when you just go, oh, I've had enough now. Here's a fun fact. That symbol was first introduced in 1655 by a guy named John Wallace. It was called the lemniscate. Now, I know we've all heard it as the Google. It's the lemniscate. So you can, if you go on a game show later today, you'll have that. No one has ever improved on a nap on your side during a heat wave either. That joke did not land at all, did it? Nobody has improved on that name or that shape, nor have we improved on a nap. Okay, I'm moving on from that. How do we embrace this personalizing of the infinite? What does that really mean? How do we take this grand, glorious idea and bring it into our own lives so that indeed we are part of that construction of something greater, of participation of something greater, of being the solution, not the problem? Because it's really, really easy, and by the way, really attractive for us to go into problem. It's very sexy. We get very energized, and our adrenal glands all start to fire like nuts. And we feel like, hey, that must be divine inspiration. Look at me. I am just ranting all over the place. That is not inspiration. That's adrenaline. And there's a difference. We want to move into a higher level, which is that place of knowing that we are that infinite, beloved, beautiful pattern, that perfect pattern. We want to know that that's who and what we are, and that's who and what we are living, right? We throw this word infinite around a lot in this teaching. So today we want to go from the abstract as something out there, but your infinite, your absolute infinite being. That song that is currently being asked to sing through you, as Jamie just said, your song, that one who wants to live within you. Do you know that one? Do you know that one? Sometimes you'll hear it in the frustration that happens when something isn't going your way. Sometimes it will awaken you at 3 a.m, and you'll have this divine discontent, and you won't even know what it is. That is that infinite calling to you. It is calling to you. And our job is to listen, to find the ways to listen. That's why we practice here. That's why we do spiritual practice. We meditate, we pray, we listen, we talk with others, and we listen with others. Because we want to be able to access and hear and clearly and feel clearly that voice that wants to express through us. How does this align with this idea of the beloved community? The theme for the whole month is beloved community. Now, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is the one who popularized this in the 60s, late 50s, early 60s. And he offers, I think, the perfect, and by the way, fluid context. It is a community that is transformed by this idea of agape love. It's that self-giving love, where no one is disposable, and everyone belongs. No one is disposable, and everyone belongs. And that's what we are building here in this North Hollywood Oneness Center for Spiritual Living. It is the one. We are celebrating not just one, you, but it is that great that we are one with the one. The one. Now, we hear this phrase often that is, and it's been stated many ways, but the one I like the most is probably John F. Kennedy, who said, "There is more that unites us than divides us."
Amen.
Okay, there is more that unites us. Now, if we look at this one, this infinite invisible that is source and substance of all life, creator and created of all life, is that which is shining forth as you, as me, as everything and everyone, that is what unites us. It cannot be divided. It cannot be divided. Now, we might hear people say, "I'm separate from you," or "You are different from me," or "You don't look like me," or "You and I don't believe the same thing." And we hear that a lot with religious, I'm just going to say it, BS, belief systems. We hear that a lot, but what we forget is that all of those different branches coming from the same tree. I am Dr. Kidney. Coming from the same tree with the same root system. Those branches all come from the one. The one. That is who and what we are. So, in the science of mind, which is what we teach here, the beloved community is what the one mind looks like, that capital O-N-E, capital M-I-N-D, what it looks like when it's lived rather than just talked about. Okay? We are living that beloved community. We are living it within ourselves. And last week we talked about the idea of, are we thinking that our God is small? My title was, "Honey, I Shrunk the God Again." And what we know is that when we have a small God, we have a small community. When we limit God, we limit ourselves, and we limit everybody around us in how we perceive their expression. We don't allow them the full freedom and possibility to show up for us as the divine. We do this. We've done a lot of this. It's time to do this and to do this. So the idea is that with this beloved community, that which is within us, that we know that the presence is infinite. It extends well beyond these bodies, these, as one of my friends, Lisa, calls it, this meat suit that we are wearing. That infinite goes well beyond it. We are absolutely so permeable. We are permeable in and as into God, in and as into spirit, whatever your name for that thing that is. That name and nature that resides within you and around you, and by the way, as you. So Ernest Holmes wrote this in 1948. "Humanity is made up of innumerable individuals, no two alike, and yet society is a composite whole moving gradually toward some ultimate goal. What could this goal be other than that everyone, while remaining individual, shall find a more complete expression in and among all other individuals?" That is the truth there, that we are here in our uniqueness, okay? So the goal has never been about sameness. It's never been about that. It's never been about fitting in. The first line of Jamie's song really touched me. If you ever felt like you were on the outside, like you feel you're on the outside looking in of a group that, like when I was in high school, remember we had the cool kids. I wasn't one. We had the popular kids, we had the cheerleaders, we called them the quad steppers because we had a quad and they would all be out there. None of us had earned the right to be up there. I mean, I was in marching band. Come on, give me a break. Not cool. We were to each other because we were a bunch of geeks marching together, having the best time possible. But this is, if you ever felt like the cool kids are there and you're not, that is a false construct. Spirit doesn't know from cool kids and not cool kids. Spirit just loves you and says, "Oh my God, you are so beautiful. Your picture is on my refrigerator and I worship and cherish you. You are important to me." That's what Spirit says.
Woo! Yeah. You're a cool kid now.
I have a story about that too. I'll get there in a minute. So this idea wasn't sameness, thank you. So is everybody here. It was everybody's full, unrepeatable expression, right? So we add up to one community, and your particular flavor of aliveness is part of the plan. We need it. We need to be different. We need to not be all the same and all elegant, graceful, and fine. I mean, there are times when, thank God for clumsy. Thank God for my clumsy attempts to do something, because it opens up in me a part of vulnerability and possibility that means, oh, somebody might see this and know that it's okay for them to be just as geeky as I am. Let's see, I talked about JFK. Okay. Unity exists well beyond the very framework of division, not just past it, but well beyond it. In other words, unity can include the division and the diversity because it's so much greater. We've heard the expression that God is everywhere present, everywhere equally present, that center is everywhere, the circumference is nowhere. We are nowhere near the circumference or on the outside looking in to that spirit. We are the center of God. Ernest Holmes wrote, we are in the laboratory of the infinite. What shall we create today? What will you create? Because we are being fed, we are being sourced, we are being inspired by that infinite which says, I'm going to create this person over here, Christine or Ed or Mary or any of these people, because they are going to create and express the infinite in a way that has never been done before, and I really, really need that to happen. Yeah. That's what God says. If we wanted, say God, give God a voice, personality, and all that stuff, which I don't usually do. However, your dream is not a personal matter. It's not something to keep like this, because every time you say yes, you unlock somebody else's yes. We are collective, and you are here to unlock my yes. I'm here to unlock your yes. Here's what I want to tell you. I grew up, I grew up with a bunch of geeks, but I also grew up in a time when it was not right to have arms in church. You didn't show your arms. It's kind of disrespectful, apparently, to have arms, I guess. But if you're a woman of a certain age, this is for the women now, you know that, so today it's going to be almost 99 or more. And I saw someone yesterday talk about this, and it gave me full permission. I am a woman who is going to wear sleeveless shirts, regardless of whether or not you like it, because I have arms, and they're always too hot. Now, if you are a woman who's always too hot or not, I invite you to show your arms. You have arms. I also have muffins. I have bat wings. My bat wings get really freaking hot. That's where I wish I was a cool kid. I want to run cool, but I'm not. I'm hot stuff, apparently, and so are all of you, so you have full permission. But there was a time, and some of my mentor minister friends are still like, well, I better find a little sweater to put on over this, because I can't show my arms. What, you don't have arms? Are you afraid the congregation's going to discover she's got arms? Get her! Release the hounds! It's hot. I'm hot. I don't like hot, so I'm going to show you my arms. Okay, that's enough of that. But my yes gives you a yes. It gives you permission. Whether you're up here or not, please show me your arms. All right. All right. So I want to tell you about the geeks I grew up with. How's my time? Oh, excellent. So we were all weird kids. And from 4th grade on, I knew this guy named Tom. And Tom was one of our geeks. We didn't call them geeks. We just called them friends back then. But we were all unique. We were all different. Tom had an obsession and a passion for Disney. A big, massive obsession and love for Disney. So in 5th grade, he and his father were able to go to the opening of Disney World. Now, I grew up in Southern California, Newport Beach, so we weren't far from Disneyland. But Tom, who would spend every weekend there, it used to be $5 to get in. You could spend the day there. We used to go out and hear music on a Friday or Saturday night. We'd hear the Count Basie Band, Duke Ellington, Stan Kenton, Woody Herman for $5. And then we'd go on a ride, and the whole night would cost us about $10. So Tom was just passionate. And his parents recognized that. And so he went. And I remember this because we threw him a going away party. We thought it was just so exciting that one of our friends, 5th grade, was going to Disney World for the opening. His passion continued. His obsession continued. Every weekend, he would go out to Disneyland. And some of the other friends that we had would go with him. One of them was this wonderfully gifted scientific math mind guy who wanted to play ragtime piano. So he would go every weekend with Tom, and he would hang out where this guy named Ragtime Rod used to play, and I think it was Carnation Square. And he would just think, I want to do this. So in high school, he bought himself an old broken down player piano. And he learned to play. He'd never played piano. He learned to play piano by watching the keys go up and down, and became one of the best ragtime players I've ever heard in my life. It was amazing. I know, I still would go, Steve, are you kidding me? Because I could play some Scott Joplin, but he nailed it. He was so good at it, just because this is a passion he had. And so he didn't say, no, that's ridiculous. He just, well, this is the way I think I'm going to learn. So, God came through him in the way that God needed to come through him. Okay, but back to Tom. So Tom went every weekend. He started to get to know people. He got to know people all the time. I remember, in fact, in 6th grade, he showed up one day with a penciled piece of music. And he said, can you play this? I want to hear what it sounds like. It's the theme to this ride they're going to be opening next year called The Haunted Mansion. And I went, dun, 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 dun. Well, it's not very pretty. But how many years later, it's still anchored, right? It's still part of the cultural meme. But the fact that he had this, that he had gotten this piece of music. And so let's fast forward a while, shall we? His big dream was always to be part of Imagineering at Disney. So you and I go to Disneyland or Disney World, and we are so moved by the magic. We escape into the fantasy and this amazing creativity. And in fact, Walt Disney was very conscious about creating a world where everything outside of the gates would disappear. I worked there for a while, and I remember learning that as you walk down Main Street and you start to smell candy, it's because the candy store would pump out the scent of vanilla every 20 seconds. So I smell vanilla now, and I'm thinking Disney. I mean, it's all of that. And they very consciously created so that you would not be thinking of the outside world. So Tom saw you and I see it and we go, this is magic. We feel it, it's magic. We hear the music, it's magic. Tom experienced it and said, I want to create that magic. I want to know how to do that. I want to know why it works. How do I do that? So he kept going. He became part of Imagineering. He's now been with Disney probably since he was in 5th grade. He's one of the guys who creates the rides and goes all over the world and comes up with this stuff. Now, how does this bless all of us besides, wow, let's give voice to our imagination and our freedom? Do you know that the stuff that Disney has done, the audio animatronics, those kind of innovations have absolutely affected the innovations in medicine, in surgery, in laser surgery and microsurgery and all of those possibilities, because they said, let's try something different. How could we do this? How can we make this show up as magic? That's what geeks do, you all. Forget being cool, be a geek. But this is the thing, that when we say yes to that infinite that is so longing to be here through us, when we say yes to that, we heal the world. We lift the world. We are part of an agency that inspires not just Abe Lincoln standing there talking to you, but the possibility for microsurgery, for laser surgery, for innovations in science, and all sorts of incredible things. Technology just going through the roof. And Disney is a big part of that. One person, okay, here's the fundamental truth. One person's saying yes, one person's grounded wholeness can absolutely shift the energy in a room. Have you ever noticed when there's conflict or that you feel like there's something that's unstable, that someone who comes in and they might just hold that space, they might just hold the presence and it begins to shift? Or they might consciously and verbally say, let's come to prayer for a bit. And we do this in our staff meetings, in our board meetings. If we suspect that something might be not a trigger, but might have many sides to it that we want to make sure that we are examining and holding all of them in a place of sacred awareness, then we will absolutely say, okay, call for prayer, and we do it all the time. And I will do it if I see conflict. I will do it if I don't see conflict. And if I'm in the middle of a situation and it's not like us, I'm still calling myself into prayer. I'm calling myself into awareness. So that is what shifts. Now, understand this. If you feel this and someone walks in the room and you know how it centers and changes the very atmosphere, I want you to imagine that one person's unlived dream is a kind of static in the group field as well. Consider that. And then one person's lived dream clears it. So if you are burying that dream, trying to keep the people around you comfortable, or not feeling threatened by you in any way, if you are holding back, you're kind of screwing with the rest of us. I'd like you to stop that now, because life is short and we really need your authentic passion now. Yeah. That's what heals. We need you to show up in that magnificence, that even if you are hearing me and you're going, I'm not magnificent, I'm not that, I am so not that. You know what? Within you is that perfect pattern for unfoldment, for creativity, for wholeness that has never, ever been dissipated, has never been broken, has never, ever heard the word no, and is simply waiting for you to say yes and to align your yes with that divine yes. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. What else do I want to say about this? We find this in Buddhism. So it's not just this faith in which we try to step out boldly with a declaration of who we are and do that thing, be that presence, say yes to whatever it is that we want to do, whether it's sing the song, write the book, sweep the floor. I don't know what it is for you. I really don't know what it is for you. But it's not just in this tradition or in the Western tradition. The Buddhism bodhisattva ideal, the vow is not to escape into private enlightenment, but to wake up for the benefit of all beings. To wake up for the benefit of all beings. Thich Nhat Hanh's teaching on interbeing says the same thing in gentler language. Nothing exists separately, so your liberation is never only yours. Never only yours. And there's an echo in the Hindu tradition as well. In the Bhagavad Gita, action taken not for private gain, but for the welfare of the world is called Loka Sangraha. Krishna's counsel to Arjuna is essential. Your dharma fully lived, holds up the world. Not metaphorically, structurally. Structurally. So you and I, playing small, does no favors for anybody. In fact, it limits the people around us. And we have this capacity, and I won't say it's an obligation, but we have this promise. Because as we say yes, and they say yes, their yes vibrates to others as well. And we get to be in even bigger field of the creative yes. Now, we are in a world that wants to convince us that conflict is all there is. That difference is all there is. That separation is all there is. And if you are listening to, as Reverend Skip likes to say, CNN, constantly negative news, that if you are not hearing that as a prayer request or as the potential unfolding, then you might want to turn it off for a while till you can get regrounded. because there is a greater story going on here. This is what is meant by the infinite invisible, the one, the great big freaking one. It is bigger than all of that. There is a greater story going on here, and we're the ones to tell it. Because if we are awake, it means we are awake. If we're not, then that's okay. But this journey of awakening will occur over and over and over at deeper levels all the time. We are the ones to wake up, to shake up. You know, the book of Esther in the Old Testament reads, "For this you were born, for these times you were born." Now, all of the books in the Bible, Old and New Testament, are just stories of awakening. You don't have to take them literally. I don't. I take them allegorically, metaphorically. Some of them are just pure nonsense. I mean, come on, Leviticus, give me a break. 2 mixed fabrics. So I throw that out. However, in this buffet of what works and what doesn't, there are messages there, because every single story is about moving from separation to oneness. Every story, and it's our story, it's your story, that we are moving constantly from separation to oneness, and that's what we are doing on this planet. We are here to move into oneness, regardless of what the story is out there, regardless of what somebody else wants to tell you, regardless of what our elected leaders do. Well, it's not about them, it's about us. Because if we want to heal the separation in the world, what do we have to heal first? The separation in ourselves. That's where we start. Now, do we wait till our inner separation is healed in order to go out in the world? Oh, hell no. No, we do this, we are a work in progress. We do this whether we're healed or not, because we have to. Because we have to. Listen, I've got a kid. I want him to have more kids. I want him to breed and have grandkids. I mean, I really do. And I want this world to be a safe place for them to grow up. I want all of your kids, grandkids, great-grandkids to have a place to play and a place to know that their water is safe to drink, that the land is beautiful, that the sky is blue, and that they can travel across this planet knowing that they are blessed, that they are safe, that they are held, and that there is a common respect and integrity keeping it all together. Because you know what? There is.
Yeah.
There is. We are that. We are that. Oh, thank you. So we get to move beyond. We get to move beyond. So here's a quick practice. Here's a quick thing we can do. I just want to invite you to take a breath. And if you're bless you, take a breath. And if you're comfortable closing your eyes, silently complete this sentence in your own mind. The dream I've been keeping quiet is. The dream I've been keeping quiet is. And when you're ready, open your eyes, because I want you to know your dream is not vanity. It's the infinite personalized. It's asking to be let out. And actually letting it out is service to the beloved community. It is service to this community. It helps build this community. Because every time you give yourself permission, every time you say yes, you are giving everybody else just that psychic knowing, that spiritual knowing that they can give themselves permission. They can give themselves. Affirmation affirms everybody when it is deep and when it is practiced. Your dream is spirit itself. It is knocking on the door of your awareness. It's asking to be recognized. It's asking to be realized. Don't hold that dream back. We need that dream. That infinity is your contribution. That is the way that you construct not just your own life, but this universal scaffold in which we all are living and creating and expressing. You and I are one with this infinite creativity of the universe. And what we dare to imagine, we can dare to live. We can dare to live. it might just start with short sleeves. And it grows from there. And when we live things fully, we add our note to the healing of the whole. We add our voice to the song. Don't let that song be unsung, because if we don't hear it, then one of us may not get healed. One of us may not know that it's okay to have the dream that we have within us. So go back to that image of the 8 reclining on its side, that infinity symbol. Don't wait for a hot day to rest into your infinity and your own bigness. Don't wait for that. Do it today. Be upright. Be wide awake. And as Ernest Holmes would tell you, believe as though you are, and you will be. You truly will be. Because that thing that is within you is the thing itself. It is God itself. It is the dream itself. It is the idea. It is the geek itself in its incipiency. It is that seed which has everything necessary for its full expression. This universe is conspiring to support us, but it will only do that when we say yes, when we awaken to the yes. So this beloved community isn't waiting for you to arrive quietly. It's waiting for you and me to show up as ourselves all the way, infinity included. Let's pray. We recognize that the infinite is not something away, afar off, or separate from us, but it is us. It is who we are, and that we cannot be divided because we are unity itself, as a celebration, as a beautiful song, as the glory of spirit. Oh my God, we are all the dream in realization. We are the light in bright, joyful, big expression, and we say yes to that now. And I know that as I say yes to being one, I know that all of us say yes to recognizing that we are one, and that in that shared divinity, that shared sacredness, that shared holiness, we know that truly we are on sacred ground because we are here. The ground does not sanctify us. We sanctify the ground on which we walk, because we come from that ground of being that says there is one life. That life is God. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. That life is your life now. That is the life that we are here to live. And the yes is everything. So I know that we are so blessed by being together in this community. We are blessed by hearing that yes. And we know that as we affirm and remember that blessing, we bless all communities, all paths to God, all churches, all ashrams, all mosques, all temples, all synagogues, all places where people gather because the light shines brighter. And we extend that light, that yes of wholeness. We extend it to the state of Washington, knowing that the love that we share absolutely is greater than the smoke of a fire, and that it is damped. We say yes to the wholeness and the balance of this universe because it is already balanced within us. So we know that. We know that for any of the fires that are going on in our area, we know that for anything that is happening in the world, we bless all those areas of apparent conflict, knowing that in the appearance of separation, oneness remains. Despite the appearance of darkness, the light still shines. Despite the appearance of separation, wholeness reigns. And we know this to be true. We know this to be true. We live in and as it. We declare it to be true. And in gratitude, we release this word into the activity of the law, spiritual law, knowing it is already here and now, showing up, demonstrating, and magnificently manifesting as us, in us, through us, around us. It is the truth. I know it to be so. And so it is. And together we say, Amen.